And we live.
All praises, all praises. All right, so we gonna get started. All right, so hey, shalom, Israel. Hey, first off, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Right, shalom to all the brothers and sisters tuning in. Welcome to Yahweh's camp, Warzone Wednesdays. Salakia for the delay. We was having some technical difficulties, but we all good now. So we go get into it. All right. So we gonna go around the panel for the introduction. Brother Yashawan Ban Yahawada.
Hey,
I'm Brother Imok.
Hey, Shalom, this is Shapar the Gadite.
Shalom, this is Kazak.
Hey, shalom. This is Brother Yashuv.
We also got the mighty Captain Ram on here as well. He might be preoccupied right now, but it's all good. But tonight's lesson, we're going into are you taking this work seriously? Going into how to endure in this truth, right? Because in these times that we living in now, it's a lot going on in Israel. So we just wanted to touch on a couple topics, right? In my short time being in this truth, man, I seen a lot. A lot of brothers come and go. A lot of mighty brothers that were strong in this truth get sifted out. Brothers falling off. You got a lot going on with the nation, right? Fights breaking out at camp, right? It's all type of stuff going on, right? So we go get into it. Lord willing, this don't take too long because touching on this topic, we can go on for hours and hours. We could go 3 or 4 hours going on this topic, but we go try to cut it as short as we can. But like I said, Lord willing, brothers and sisters can learn something from this lesson. Right. So we go hop right into it. All right. So hey, Shapar, can you give me the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 13? And Brother Kazak, can you give me the book of Luke chapter 22 and verse 31? And we go get right into it. All right. So again, tonight's topic, we going into the spirit of endurance, learning how to endure in this truth, right? Right? Because a lot of brothers ain't taking this truth seriously, right? Like I said, every week we see brothers come and go, right? Not just in this camp, but all throughout Israel, right? So let me know when you get Matthew 24:13.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20.
Salat, let me get there real quick. All right, let's go ahead, King.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13, and it reads, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved."
Right, so it says, "He that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." Right, and we really got to look at that scripture and really pay attention to it. It says, "He that endure unto the end." Right, because in the times we living in right now, a lot of people in Israel think they made it already. Right, and I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, ain't nothing special about none of us. Right. Yeah, you might have brothers that might be camp leaders. You might be a captain, a general, whatever title that you got. But hey, the Most High don't need none of us, right? You're not as special as you think you are, And I want people to really to meditate on this, right? You're not doing nothing special, right? The Lord said, he that shall endure unto the end, right? Like I said, you know how many brothers, mighty brothers that we seen bringing it out mighty on the streets, brothers that was leaders over congregations, right? A brother, he the mightiest brother in the world one week, and then the next week he just fell off the map, right? That's what the Most High is doing in these last days. Because a lot of brothers not rooted. A lot of brothers don't have the spirit of endurance, right? That's why the Lord said, he that shall endure unto the end, right? So the Lord don't care about what you're going through right now. Whatever you're going through right now, it ain't nothing compared to what's coming to the earth, right? Whatever little issues that you're going through right now, this ain't nothing compared to what's coming. We still have a lot of prophecies that have to be fulfilled, right? It's finna get a lot worse. This ain't nothing. We still got a long way to go. The Lord said he has to seal 12,000 men out of each tribe. That means we still got a lot of work to do, right? So like I said, now is not the time to be relaxing. Now is not the time to be a sluggard, to be lukewarm, because we still got a lot of work to do, right? Brothers falling out of the truth left and right. Right, I seen it with my own eyes. Like I said, you have brothers that was mighty teachers, mighty readers, right? Brothers leaders over congregations, right? And then out of nowhere, brothers just fall off because they're not rooted, right? They're not taking this truth seriously, right? The Lord don't care if you've been in this truth for 10 years, 15 years, 20, 30, 40 years. You have to endure until the end. You could get off to a good start and you could fall off. And we know that by reading the scriptures. What happened to King Solomon? King Solomon was the wisest man on the face of the earth, right? He got off to a good start, but what happened to him in the end, right? So it ain't about how you start, right? It's about if you could finish, right? Do you have the spirit to finish the job that you started? Remember, the Most High said, any man that take his hand off the plow, that man, he not fit for the kingdom of God, right? So can you read that again from the top, King?
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Right, so he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Ain't none of us saved yet, right? So until Yahweh shall crack that sky and deliver us from this captivity, we still got a lot of work to do. Ain't nobody saved, right? Just because you out there on the streets and you bringing it out mighty, right? You a captain, you a general, you got 10,000 men under you. That don't mean nothing, right? You ain't did nothing. You haven't accomplished nothing. Right, and that's the mind state that you gotta have. That's one of the first things you gotta have to keep enduring. You gotta tell yourself, look, I haven't did nothing. I haven't accomplished nothing. That's what I tell myself all the time. Right, if you a new brother or sister in this truth, that's what you gotta tell yourself. I ain't did nothing. Right, I got more work to do. Right, I don't give a damn if you go to camp every single day. You read 20 chapters every single day. You haven't did nothing. Right. So let's get that in let me get that real quick in Luke. Yeah, Luke chapter 22 and verse 31. Right.
Con, I got that for you. But Salakia, you had touched on it briefly, but Let me pull a precept. It's in Luke 9:62.
Con.
It says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, you see that? The Lord said, you put your hand to the plow, you ain't fit. You ain't fit for the kingdom. Right? You know what that's called? That's called half-assing. Right? You think the most High wants somebody that's half-assing in this truth? Right? The Most High said we got to be tried through the fire. Right? The Most High wants somebody that's fit to be a ruler on this earth. Right? If you can't go through these, like I said, whatever situation that you're going through right now, it ain't nothing compared to what's coming upon the earth. Right? Hey, shalom to all the brothers and sisters that's tuning in. Right? But like I said, the things that we go through right now, yeah, it's hard, but it's finna get a lot worse. And if you're not prepared, if you're not diligent, if you don't stay true to the Most High, the Lord not gonna save you. The Lord not gonna be with you. Right? So the last thing you want to do when things get hard is separate yourself from the Most High. That's not how things go get better. Right? A lot of brothers folding under pressure right now. Right? The Most High putting brothers through the fire and they getting burned. They're like, oh man, I didn't know it was gonna be this hard to serve the Lord. Damn, man, I got issues going on with my wife. I got issues going on at work with my job, my family, my kids, this and that. Right? This is the time where you should be getting closer to the Most High. Right? When all these things start going on in your life, you need to get on your knees and pray to the Most High. You got to fast. Right? You got to increase. Right? You need to start working harder. Right? You can't give up. Right? The Most High, what the Most High gonna do with somebody that give up easy? Hey, Ethan, what that can you put that comment back on the screen? It says, I've been in the truth about 5 years, and where I'm from seems like I'm the only one in the truth. What motivational info can you give me? So you've been in the truth for 5 years, and you say you the only one in this truth. It
Hey,
depends.
I
Do you
got something
follow?
for you. Hey, Salatia, real quick. The mighty Yashawan. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
real quick, brother. I'm your brother Yashuv, right? For a long time, I've been out here for many years in this truth. I probably spent 10 years by myself out here teaching brothers online, teaching brothers on conference calls. You know what I mean? So you gotta do the work the best way you can. Teaching the first congregation, which was the family, the children, the wife. Those are all things that keep you built up in the spirit. But I tell you something heavy. For a long time out here, there was no camps out here. But I ran into one of the mighty captains that we had amongst this camp, at the grocery store by my house one day. And I hadn't seen another brother, that had the apparel of an Israelite before on these streets. So that was a great blessing to me, brother. Um, I was able later on to link up with the brothers that I'm amongst right now. So that should be a testament to you to stay rooted. Don't be discouraged. No matter what city you in, the Most High will bring those fellow servants amongst you and brothers that you could war in the spirit with, day to day. Yeah, had I fainted and had I not been rooted with this, I would have fell by the wayside. So you gotta build that root up within yourself first. And if I can just get one scripture on that, Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. You ain't got that, right, Yashua?
No, go ahead, King.
All right. Let me if somebody could grab Galatians 6 and 9 real quick.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in the well doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not.
Right. So you gotta keep that in mind, brother. That don't be worried if you don't see, you might see the platforms that's out and that's organized right now and say, man, I want brothers around me like that. I want the righteous brotherhood, the sisters and the congregation, all of that's good, but it could be turmoil if you're not rooted as well. You understand? So don't be worried, brother, with what you are going through right now. Just stay rooted, stay in the faith, keep reading, be occupied in prophecy, and eat the whole roll up. You understand? Because your season is coming where the Most High is going to bring what you need, to keep you going in his work. And I yield on that.
Khan, that was beautifully said, King. So like the brother said, if you keep enduring the Most High, eventually he go put you around like-minded brothers, right? So where was we at? We were still in Luke 22 and verse 31.
Khan, I got that for y'all. This is the book of Luke, chapter 22 and verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you.
Right. So let's stop right. So let's stop right there. Right. So let's read that again from the top. Right. Because like we was going into about enduring in this truth. Right. Right. Taking this truth seriously. Right. When you're going through hard times, you want to do more work. Right. When you're going through trials and tribulations, you don't want to separate yourself from the Most High. You want to get closer to the Most High. Right? Especially in the times we live in there right now. Right? So let's read that again from the top, King.
Khan, this is the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you.
So let's stop right there. So, hey, who got the screen up, Ephraim or Amak? Which one of y'all got the sharing the screen?
Ephraim got it back over.
Okay, Khan. So Ephraim, can you go into that word desire? So let's look at this real closely, right? He says, Satan hath desired to have you. So I want to go into that word desire. If you could pull it up, Ephraim. Is you there, Ephraim? Is he there?
Ephraim, your mic probably went back out.
Luke 22 and 31. Going to that word desire. Right, so you pulling it up now, right? Going into that word desire. Right?
Strong's G 1809. Exciteo. Exciteo.
And look at some of those definitions. It says for torture, for punishment, right? Right. So when somebody has a desire for something, that means, matter of fact, We can pull up the hey Ephraim, if you could share the screen, can you go into yeah, go down a little bit. Right? Where's the definitions? It says to demand, right? But I want to get even a little deeper. Can you go into just type in the definition of desire? Cause this get real deep, right? So the Lord told Peter, he said, Satan have desired to have you, right? Yeah, I can't even see the. You might have to zoom in. Right? Can you zoom in a little bit more?
Hey, I can read it for you, King. It says a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen.
Right? So a strong feeling. You see that aspiration. And this is some of the synonyms, right? Aspiration, want, right? So the Lord said Satan have desired to have you, right? If you desire something, that means you go do everything in your power to get it. Right? If I desire to have a certain job, then I'm gonna do everything that I can possibly do to get what I want, right? Correct? Right? So the Lord says, He says Satan have desired to have you. You got to think about that, right? Satan desires to have every single one of us that's in this truth. That's his whole job, right? Satan desires to have every single last one of us,
Damn, they
right?
can't hear me. Salaki, can y'all hear me now?
Satan don't want you. He don't want to see you serving the Most High God, right? Satan don't want to see you out there on the streets being diligent every single week, week in and week out, waking up the elect, waking up the lost sheep, right? Satan desires to take you out of this truth. And trust and believe Satan, he know all your weaknesses. He know all your strengths. Anything that he can do to get you out of this truth, he go do it. Right? And that's why we see the spirit of Satan not even all throughout the world, because we know this is Satan's kingdom in this wicked world, but even in Israel, right? Even in Israel, people that know they Israelites, we see the spirit of Satan, right? People in the congregations committing adultery, committing fornication, right? Brothers fighting their own brothers over over a damn street corner, right? You got man worshippers, man pleasers, people out here for vainglory, right? Like I said, people out here fighting over street corners, right? Grown ass men, right? Calling the police on brothers, right? That's called the spirit of Satan. Satan desires to have us in these last days. Satan desires to sift us out, right? Satan desires to have you to hate your own brother, to stop doing the work of the Most High, right? Anything that can take you out of this truth, Satan desires to do that, right? So we got to be diligent, right? We got to be circumspect, right? We got to examine ourselves daily and know the things that we can do better, right? Because like I said, you see the spirit of Satan all throughout Israel right now, right? Right? But like I said, you got brothers fighting over street corners, right? Brothers out here worshiping, man. You got one congregation talking about the leader of our campus third under heaven. And then you got another congregation talking about the leader of our campus is Elijah back on earth, right? These are the type of things that's going on in these last days, right? This is the type of madness that's going on even with the nation of Israel. with so-called righteous men that's supposed to be leaders, right? Right? Brothers coming out saying, we don't associate or affiliate with any other congregations, right? But the thing is, every action that you make by default is go associate all the other congregations anyway, right? Because the actions that you make go affect everybody else. So now when people see stuff like that, they gonna be like, oh, the Israelites. I don't know about the Israelites, man. I seen the video where y'all was doing A, B, and C, and y'all was doing this and that. So even people that wasn't a part of that situation, we still gonna be affected by it, right? I thought the scripture said that if you got an issue with your brother, you supposed to talk to your brother and pull him to the side and work it out.
Con.
But now you got brothers out here calling Esau, calling the police, right? And that's a damn shame. We supposed to be righteous men that could work out our issues. Now you got brothers calling slave master. Come get this nigga, master. Right? That's the times we living in now. We supposed to be waxing mightier and mightier in this truth as a nation, but it seemed like Israel just love folly and love madness and love vainglory, right? You got man worshippers, damn people building on another man's foundation.
Hey, Salaki.
Right? So hold on, let me finish real quick, King. Right? So these are the things that's going on in Israel right now, right? Like I said, we supposed to be the example on this earth, right? The other nations supposed to look at us like we the kings and priests upon the face of the earth, but we continue to act like the scum of the earth, fighting somebody over a corner that don't belong to neither one of us, right? That don't make no damn. Or this block belong to Captain and General such and such, right? These are the things that's going on with so-called righteous men in this truth. And if you got that type of spirit, you ain't gonna make it. Then the Lord say, if you hate your brother, you as bad as a murderer, right? So go ahead. What you was finna say, King?
Isn't that a display of pride?
Khan, most definitely.
One of the sins Yahweh clearly, you know what I'm saying, shown that he don't like.
Right. All right, so let me bring this precept out real quick, right? This the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Well, matter of fact, I'm gonna start at verse 5. Because like I said, that's why we have to be diligent and we have to take this truth seriously. Right? The whole world is watching. Right? The whole world know about the Israelites. And more importantly, the Most High is watching. Right? How do you think the Most High feel about the things that's going on in Israel right now? Right? Brothers sluggish, brothers lukewarm, brothers not rooted, brothers not diligent, brothers out here for vainglory, right? Brothers out here worshiping men, making men their idols, right? Building on other man's foundation, hating your own brother, fighting your own brother, calling your oppressor on your own brother. Are these the things that's gonna help us endure in this truth? Are these the things that's gonna help us endure to the end? Are these the things that's gonna help us gather ourselves together as a nation? Right? So let me read this real quick. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. So the Most High taught us how to deal with our brother, right? The Most High taught us what to do in certain situations, but our people still don't understand. Our people still just don't get it, right? What is it gonna take for us to get it? Ain't we sick of being oppressed, right? Ain't we sick of going through this hell every single day? Is fighting your own brother and hating your own brother, is that gonna make anything better? Right? As this world continue to wax worse and worse, we supposed to be waxing greater and greater, right? But our people too prideful, right? They too busy fighting over damn street corners like damn Bloods and Crips. I thought we left that in the damn world, right? I mean, this is really a damn shame. This is embarrassing. This is an embarrassment, right? If you wanted to fight over damn street corners, you might as well stayed in the world. You might as well damn tie a red flag to your forehead and go on a block, right? But this is what happens when brothers not taking this truth seriously, right? In these last days, we gonna need each other more than ever. It don't matter what camp or congregation that you in. As a nation, we gonna need each other in these last days. We need to be coming together and not dividing each other, right? The Lord said, mark those that cause division, right? When you take a look at Israel, we don't have the fruits of the spirit, right? Like I said, you got all type of madness going on. And that's why a lot of brothers getting sifted out of this truth, right? Because the Most High not playing. The Most High, if the Most High see the works that you doing behind closed doors, right? And if you're not meeting the standards that go with these laws, statutes, and commandments, then the Most High go take you out. The Lord don't give a damn if you a leader over a congregation, right? He don't give a damn what type of title you got, if you a general or a captain or a priest, right? You can't keep a simple commandment like love your own brother. If you can't do something simple like that, then what are you good for? Right? Like the Lord said, if any man take his hand off the plow, that man, he not fit for the kingdom. You think you fit for the kingdom if you hating your own brother? You think you fit for the kingdom if you worshiping man and you out here for vainglory and you building on another man's foundation? Right? You calling the police on your own brother? You think you fit for the kingdom? You can't even handle your own issues. That's an embarrassment to these other. That you making this a embarrassment to all these other nations, and they supposed to be looking at us like we the kings and priests upon the face of the earth, right? So verse 6 it says, "Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations." So we supposed to have wisdom and understanding in the sight of these nations, right? But all these other nations look at us like we nothing. Like we just a whole bunch of wild niggas, even if we in the truth or claim that we in the truth. You know how embarrassing that is for the police to come out when you got two different Israelite camps going at it and you gotta call the damn police. You know how damn embarrassing that is? Do you know what the Most High think about that? How you think the Most High feel about stuff like that? Right? But that's the thing. A lot of people not thinking about the Most High in these last days, right?
So,
A lot of people not thinking about the Most High. A lot of people want to exalt and glory themselves and other men. They want to do that more than exalt and glory the name of Yahweh Yahweh Shah, right? It says, "Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." But do all these other nations think of us in that manner? Do you think that the police thought that we was a wise and understanding people when we was fighting over a street corner that don't belong to us, right? And we can't even handle our own issues as grown ass men, And we got to call the so-called white man our slave master, our oppressor, right? To come solve our issues for us, right? This is not the fruits of the spirit. This is not how you endure in this truth, right? So go ahead with what you got, King, and we're gonna go back to that in Luke chapter 22.
Con is 1 John 3:15. Is that one of yours?
No, go ahead, King.
Con. This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer have eternal life abiding in him.
Con, you want to go into that?
Okay, Con. As the prophet Yahshua was talking about, you know what I'm saying, you might as well get a red rag, blue, or whatever color, put it on your head. For the simple fact, if you hate your brother, you're a murderer. That's likened to you might as well go stand on the block and sell crack cocaine to pregnant women and kids. You know what I'm saying? You can't have those feelings towards your own brother.
Right.
And
Con.
because you know what I'm saying, you hate your brother, what leads next? Next is vengeance. Next is what can I do to him to make him suffer because I don't like him. I disdain him. Let me go sleep with his wife. Let me take advantage of his kids. Let me rob him. This hatred can lead to so many other things that can bring a lifelong cycle through the generations of friends and family over something that's destroying us. That's all I got.
No, that's right. Like the brother was bringing out, that's and it's sad, but this is the things that we have to deal with in the times we living in. Even with brothers that claim to be Israelites, right? That's why the Lord said it's better that some of y'all didn't even know this truth, right? Than to come in the truth and portray yourself to be righteous and still be doing the works of the world, the works of the flesh, right? Having hatred, envy, right? Jealousy, right? But we go get back into it though. So like we said, tonight we're going into how to endure in this truth, right? Taking this truth seriously. Because if you don't take this truth seriously and you think this is a damn game, and you gonna end up on a damn block fighting over a damn corner with another camp, right? Building on another man's foundation, right? Looking crazy, embarrassing the nation of Israel, right?
Hey, Salakia, I had a precept out.
Khan, go ahead, King.
This the book, Salakia. This the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So, going into the law is teaching us how to deal with our brother, man. We got to deal with our brothers righteously, man. We got to handle our brother in a courteous way, man. We got to get that hate out of our heart towards our neighbor and towards our brother, the brothers in our nation. The Most High is teaching us in the law to get that evil wickedness out of your heart when it comes to your family and your brother. I yield.
Khan, that's right. Right. Like I said, the Most High taught us in the law, if we got an issue with our brother as grown men, how hard is it for two grown men to come together and have a conversation and work out their differences? Right? It ain't like people got bodies on. It ain't like nobody killed nobody, right? All you got to do is sit down with your brother and talk to your brother and work it out. But in today's world, you can't do that for some reason, right? You got a big ass city and you got 1,000 different spots to teach at in the city, but you decide that you want to teach on the same street, on the same block as another camp, just to cause confusion, right?
Madness.
Madness. You got 1,000 different, you got a 1,000 different spots you could teach at. I mean, you could literally teach anywhere, but you want to teach on the same block, build on another man's foundation, and then you want to act like you ain't doing nothing wrong, and then you wonder why things like that happen. I mean, it's just like I said, it's embarrassing, right? It really don't make no sense to watch grown ass men do stuff like that. I mean, it just don't make sense. And then you got to get your oppressor involved in stuff like that. That's even more embarrassing, right? That the so-called white man got to come out there and put our people together, get us together, get us straight, right? You out there calling yourself a captain and an officer and a general, but you need Esau's officers to put you in line. That don't make no damn sense. I thought you was the officer. You got to get Esau's officers. I mean, that's madness, man. But hey, King.
Hey, real quick. You know what's crazy about that too, and it was really sad though. It's like it's one thing if a brother do something, you know what I mean. Usually those things are pointed out on that brother's own faults and his transgression. But when you got a whole group of so-called mighty men that's standing up for a standard and a governmental principle where we supposed to have honor, love, and dignity amongst brethren, and you got damn multiple men groups, that that look like little kids, arguing over who get to sing the next karaoke song.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell are you doing? Let me let me hit the pinata next. Like, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? But the saddest thing is that when you see brothers make comments and say, "Well, yeah, if that's what that looked like, I don't want to be a part of that." You understand? So you gotta, if you're a part of that organization or organizations that was taking part in this hatred, and if you got that hatred in your heart, it's enough street corners on earth. The Most High said, "Wherever you place the soles of your feet shall be yours." But you got to understand where brothers name the name of the Lord, that's their foundation. That's their principal agreement that they came up with. You got no right to stand on their foundation. No matter where it is. If you in any city and you're making it your business to operate and not go to these brothers and have an agreement to do so, then you out of order. But you got to look at the 20. You probably lost 20,000 brothers that was seeking the Most High that said, "I'm just going back to the church."
Right.
Precept.
You see that, and that's the type of things that like the brother said, like that's the type of things that you don't know who watching you, right? Anybody could be watching, right? And then the action that you make can affect somebody else, right? Not just because you want to come out here and act like a fool. Now somebody else that's watching, they're like, you know what? Now they got an excuse. Well, I don't want to be a part of this. If this how these people act, I don't want to be a part of this, right? But that's why we have to examine ourselves and watch the things that we do and watch the things that we say, right? Like the brother said, out of one city, it's 1,000 different places you can teach at, but you want to teach with somebody else teaching that. You wonder why things like that happen, right? Brothers calling brothers out, they calling out the leaders of one camp. I mean, this is crazy, man. But like I said, it ain't nothing new under the sun, right? All throughout the scriptures, Israel as a nation, we always had, stuff like that going on, right? You had the house of David. They was going to war with the house of Saul, right? You had Israel going to war with each other during the time of the judges, right? You had Israel going to war with each other with Rehoboam and Jeroboam. You had Jeroboam and the southern kingdom going to war against Rehoboam in the southern kingdom going to war with Jeroboam in the northern kingdom, right? The Pharisees and the scribes going against Yahushua, his disciples, right? So you see division even within Israel all throughout the scriptures, right? But you had something, King, real quick, and then we got to get back to this Luke.
It'll be fast. And this right here, I believe, explains itself too. So this is 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say, I love Yahweh, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he seen, how can he love Yahweh, whom he have not seen?
Right. You want to expand on that real quick?
Well, I just got a question, man. I mean, no, saying we all said we love Yahweh, but do you really? If you out there and you hate your brother, do you really love Yahweh like you proclaim you do?
Right. And according to that scripture, you can't. You literally can't.
Yeah,
you can't love the Most High if you don't love your brother. Shoot, if you love somebody, you wouldn't build on their foundation. If you love somebody, you wouldn't be touching other people's stuff, right? You wouldn't be swinging on your own brother, fighting your own brother, right? Calling the cops on your own brother, right? But these the things that we got to deal with, like we just read in Luke. In these last days, Satan desires to have us. You don't think Satan would, you don't think Satan was sitting by the sidelines when stuff like that be going on? You don't think he was sitting on the sidelines like, yeah, I did it. My plan worked.
Rubbing his hands, smiling.
Right, sitting there, he rubbing his hands like Birdman. He doing the bird. Right, he's sitting there doing the Birdman, rubbing his hands like Birdman, like, yeah, I did it. I got these niggas. Right.
You got to hit the evil laugh out.
Right, that's right. That's how that's the type of things that's going on. That's what Satan desires.
Drop a dime on these niggas.
Right. And that's the things that Satan doing in these last days, man. Right. He said, yeah, I did. I caused confusion. I caused wrath, envy, strife, right? Hatred. Right. The Lord says Satan desires to have us, right? So let's get back to that in Luke 22.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 31. Take it from the top. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat.
That he may sift you as wheat. And like I said, you got a lot of brothers that's getting sifted out because they're not rooted, because they're not really taking this truth seriously like they supposed to. Right? Satan don't want the elect being sealed. Right? Satan want his kingdom to rule forever as long as he can. Right? When you read Revelation 12 and 12, it says Satan go come down with a great wrath in these last days. Because he know he only got a short time left. Right? Right? So the Satan is looking to sift people out. Right? So read on, King.
Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee.
But he have did what?
I have prayed for thee.
So in these last days, we got to pray for each other. We can't be fighting each other. We can't be hating on each other. Right? We got to pray for each other. Like I said, you had a lot of You got mighty brothers that was in this truth, put in the work week in and week out, right? But brothers fell off, so you got to pray for those brothers, right? If I see one of my brothers going through something, and I pray for that brother, right? You might have to fast with that brother, right? In these last days, we have to pray for each other as a nation, right? Because you might not be strong enough to go through these things by yourself. So you need brothers to pray for you. You need brothers to lift you up, right? So let's read on.
Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren.
So we have to strengthen our brethren. Like I said, you got brothers going through trials and tribulations every day. Right? Brothers might have lost a house, lost a job, going through situations with their wife, their kids, their family. Right? Brothers going through infirmities. Brothers got sicknesses, diabetes. Brothers got back pains, leg pains. We going through all type of stuff in these last days. Right? So we have to pray for each other. Right? You got all type of temptation out here in this world, right? So we have to pray for each other in these last days, right? Lift brothers up, right? If you see a brother down and out, then you got to pray for that brother, right? Like I said, I seen plenty of mighty brothers out here in this truth that fell off, right? Brother diligent one week, and then the next week he just disappeared, ain't said nothing to nobody. Brothers pop back up, like, brother, where you been at? Oh, well, I've been around. What the hell do that mean? You been around doing what? Right? Brothers act like ain't nothing happened. Brothers just popped up. Brother missed camp for 2 months and he pop up out of nowhere. Right? Yeah, shalom, shalom. No, brother, ain't no shalom, brother. Where you been at? Right? We been hitting you up. Right? We been trying to contact you. Where you been at? Oh no, I've been going through some stuff, right? We don't know what that brother been doing. That brother could have left the truth, went back to smoking weed, went back to doing in the streets, doing anything, right? The Lord said a just man falleth 7 times, but in these last days, if you're not diligent, if you fall, you might not get back up, right? I seen brothers that fell out and they didn't get back up. Some brothers fell and they came back. Some brothers fell and they didn't come back, and they might not come back, right? But you need to make sure that you don't end up like those brothers. You need to do everything in your power to make sure that you're not a part of that remnant that's gonna get sifted out, right? Because this could happen to anybody, right? Like I said, the Most High God is testing us every single day, right? Don't you know how in sports they got the draft, right? They got this thing where they got scouts, so they actually got people that be looking out, right? Looking at different prospects, seeing your strengths and your weaknesses. Right? They be like, yeah, I like this player, man. He got a good vertical wingspan, right? He can run a such and such. He real athletic. He can shoot the ball. He can play defense. He can do A, B, and C. And we need this prospect on our team so he can help us win the championship, right? Then they might look at some other players. You know what? I don't really like him. He don't really, do this or do that. He can't shoot real good, right? He not as fast, right? I kind of be taking a chance with him if I draft him. And that's what the Most High doing. The Most High got the angels all throughout the earth scoping out brothers, looking at your every move, right? The Most High, like, you know what? I can't really do nothing with him. He not obedient, right? He a sluggard. He lukewarm. I can't put him on my team. I can't have him inherit the kingdom. I can't do nothing with him. He too up and down. Right? I put him through a little trials and tribulations and he folded. I can't do nothing with him. Right? Then you got other brothers. The Most High be like, you know what? Hey, this brother, I put him through trials and tribulations. He's still going hard. Right? He's still diligent. He's still putting in his work. Right? Hey, I can probably use somebody like him. Right? So like I said from the beginning, ain't nobody special. Don't come in this truth and you know a few scriptures and now you big headed, right? And now you think you're doing something. You think you are somebody. Ain't all of us, we ain't nobody. Right? The Lord said our righteousness is as filthy rags. Ain't none of us accomplished nothing. You could be in this truth for 20, 30 years and the Most High could sift you out. Right? The Most High don't need you. A lot of brothers gotta humble down. The Most High don't need you. He don't need none of us. It's a blessing that we have this opportunity to be in this truth. Right? People think they doing something out here. You ain't doing nothing. Right? And you know that Beyonce song where she say, I can have another you in a minute. Hey, that's the Most High. That's how the Most High do it. Right? The Most High said, look, you must not know about me. I can have another you in a minute. Shoot, you ain't saying nothing but a word. That's how the Most High do it. I seen it with my own eyes. Right? One brother leave, hey, the Most High bring another brother. Right? With that's more diligent. Right? They got more talents. Right? More willing to put in the work. Right? So like I said, we ain't doing nothing special. Right? So let's read down to verse 33. And hey, King Shapar, can you give me 1 Peter 5:8?
Come.
And
Khan,
let's finish verse 33.
Khan, this is Luke chapter 22 and verse 33. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee, both into prison and to death.
Right, so that's the type of spirit that Peter had. He said, "Look, I'm ready to go through prison and through death." Right? How many of us is willing to go through that? Right? If we not willing to go through the little trials and tribulations that we going through right now, then I'm gonna tell you straight up, you ain't ready to go through these things for the Lord. You know, that's the first thing brothers say. Yeah, I'm ready to. What that brother say that on Glenwood that day? That brother said, "I'm ready to die for this." Y'all remember that? That brother, he
Come.
said, that brother, and that brother said, he said, "I'm ready to die for this." He said, "If you ain't ready to die for this, to get out of it." Hey, that's what we gotta tell a lot of these brothers, man. If you ain't ready to die for this, man, you might as well get out of it. Because if you can't go through a little trials and tribulations, hey, he said, "I'm ready to die for this." Right? The Lord ain't, hey, if you ain't ready to die for the Most High don't need you. Right? Like I said, the things that we going through right now is nothing compared to the things that's coming to the earth. We got a lot more. I hate to break the news to a lot of brothers, but I know it's hard now, but we still got a lot more to go through. We still got a lot of prophecies that got to come to pass. We got a famine that's coming, more pestilence that's coming, right? It's finna get real bad out here, right?
Hey, Salakia King, the problem is that some brothers ain't going through a damn thing, so it's a big show. You know, being a Israelite then became a movie script in the show.
Right. And that's a damn shame. Like I said, that's that vainglory. right? Like the brother said, a lot of people think this is a damn show, right? But not knowing that a lot of us gonna have to die for this, right? When you read Second Esdras chapter 16, it says they gonna be like mad men trying to hunt down and kill the servants of the Lord, right? So we ain't really seen nothing yet. We ain't going through nothing. Some of us might have to lose our lives for the Most High. But if you ain't ready, if you can't even stay diligent, if you can't even endure the little suffering that you're going through right now, I know damn well you ain't finna die for the Most High, right? Right. So let's that was it on that. So let me get that in First Peter 5:8. And hey Ephraim, you still there? Or I think he working on the laptop, so I don't know because I can't hear him.
Yeah, his mic's not working.
All right. Well, I guess King Kazak, can you give me Job chapter 1 and we gonna start at verse 1, right? So let me get that from Shapar first and First Peter 5:8. Let me get there real quick. All right, I'm ready, King.
Khan, this is the book of First Peter, chapter 5, verse 8, and it reads, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil,
Hold on, yo, what?
your adversary, the devil."
So just like we read in the book of Luke, the Lord said Satan have desired to sift you out. And now the Lord is saying you're an adversary, you're the devil, right? So Satan is out here. The spirit of Satan is out here on this earth, especially among the children of Israel, right? And he doing everything in his power to separate us and divide us, right? And to get you to fall out of this truth, right? So read on.
Khan, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right. And Satan is walking about seeking whom he may devour, right? So if you're a weak link out here, then hey, Satan, he gonna take you out, right? You gonna be breakfast for him, right? So if you don't got the spirit of the Lord, if you're not rooted and you don't got the spirit of endurance, and you gonna be easy work for Satan, right? Satan go sit you out. He gonna have you out here, hey, he gonna have you out here damn fighting another brother over a damn street corner, right? Talking about this block belong to the captain general such and such, right? All type of madness going on out here, man. Right? Satan out here looking for weak targets, right? And if you're not diligent in this truth, then you're an easy target, right? Every single day, Satan is coming at you in any way he can. Satan go come at you. He go come at you through your wife, right? He can come at you through your children, your family, your job, right? So you got to be ready for this stuff. You got to be ready to endure, right? No matter what's going on, right? You got to gird up your loins and be ready to do the work of the Most High no matter what, right? Because Satan, he desires to sit you out. And Satan dirty, man. He play a dirty game, right? Like I said, Satan will use anybody to try to get you out of this truth. He'll use anything to try to get you out of this truth. He'll use your wife, your parents, your family, your children, right? You might come back from camp one day. A Satan might hop on your wife. She might be like, you know what? Why the hell you go out there with these niggas and scream out the white man every week? Right? Nigga, you ain't doing nothing. You done lost your mind. Right? going out here screaming at the white man. What's wrong with you? This ain't what I thought it was. We going back to the Christian church. Yeah, you coming to church with me on Sunday. I don't like this no more. Right? I don't like dressing in modest apparel and wearing a head wrap. Yeah, it was cute for a moment, but I ain't doing this no more. Right? What you go do in that moment? You go stop doing the work of the Most High? Right? You go forsake the Most High and stop doing the work? Right? What if your family turn on you? Right? What do they say, man, this nigga, he always coming, every time we see him, he always got those little funny looking things on his shirt. Right? Right? This nigga, what this nigga call himself? He call himself Zachariah. Nigga, your name Trevor. Right?
Con.
This nigga said his name is Zachariah. Nigga, what's wrong with this nigga? Right? Oh, you don't want to hit the blunt no more? Man, this nigga tripping, man. Hey, cuz tripping, man. Hey, man, stop playing to hit this blunt, man. You tripping. Right? That's your issue, man. You don't know how to have fun no more. Right? Ever since you went with them Hebrew, Israel, whatever they call, you been acting different. Right? What you mean you don't eat pork no more? Right? Nigga, what you mean you ain't coming over grandma's house for the Christmas gathering? Right? Nigga, what you mean you ain't give mama nothing for Mother's Day? Right? Nigga, have you lost your mind? Do you know all the things that mom did for us when we was growing up? You better get mom a Mother's Day card and tell her Happy Mother's Day.
Hey, Salakia, my favorite one. Oh, you in a cult now. You must have been in a cult or something.
Yep. Yeah, that's how it go. Right? Yeah, you in a cult, right? They teaching you how to hate your family, right? So what you go do in that day, right? You go fold up, you go say, you know what, they right. You know what I'm saying? I can't be separated from my family. You know what, my wife, she might be telling the truth, man. This might not, man, I do look like a clown going out there with a turban on, man. Man, I look crazy, man. Let me go ahead and take this off, man. Listen to my wife. All right, man. Let me take these fringes off, man. Let me hit this blunt, man. Hey, you know what? I've been tripping, man. Right? What the hell wrong with me? I'm out here yelling at the white man. You know what? They right. Right? So Satan go desire to take you out in these last days. And like I said, Satan will hop on anybody. He'll hop on your family, your wife, your children, your boss at work. Right? He'll hop on anybody to try to take you out of this truth. Right? Did you finish that in verse 8, King?
Con, yeah, I read 8. You want me to read 9?
No, that's it.
Con.
All right. So matter of fact, can you read that again? Bible Kashar?
Con. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Right, and that's why you gotta stay diligent and keep enduring in this truth. Right? Because Satan not gonna overcome you if you diligent, right? And if you enduring and keeping God's words, keeping these commandments, right? Hey, what happened when Satan came at Yahushua when you read Matthew chapter 4? And he offered him everything. Right? He offered him all the kingdoms of the earth.
Con.
But Yahushua was girded with the words of the Lord. Right? Like you read in Ephesians chapter 6. So we have to meditate on the words of the Most High day and night so we can battle against these unclean spirits. So we can battle against the spirit of Satan when they're trying to sift us out of this truth. Right? All right, so let me get Kazak, you got that Job 1:1?
Con.
Con, and Shapar, can you give me Job chapter 1 and start at verse 13?
Con.
All right, so we gonna get through this real quick. We are familiar with the story of Job. Like I said, I don't want to take too long in this, but we go get to the point real quick, right? Because remember, we still on the topic about how to endure in this truth, right? Because the Most High, He go put us through the fire. He go take things from us, right? Anything that we putting above the Most High in these last days, the Most High go take it from us, right? So bring that out, King. Job 1:1.
Con. This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil.
Right, so he said one that feared the Most High and eschewed evil, right? So it said Job, he was a perfect and an upright man, right? So read on.
Verse 2. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
Right, so look at Job's situation. It said Job, he was the greatest man of all the East. He had an abundance of cattle, right? He had a big family, right? A lot of kids. So Job had it going on. It said he was a righteous and an upright man, right? So Job had a lot. Job had more than most of us got, right? But let's see what's gonna happen, right? So let me can you jump down to verse 6?
Con, verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them.
And you see that it says Satan came also among them, right? So Satan is always around, right? Like I said, Satan is always around trying to find ways to sift us out, right? That's his whole desire. That's his job, right? Is to keep you away from the Most High, right? So read down to can you read down to verse 12 for me, King?
Con, verse 7. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Verse 8. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil?
Right. So he said, Have thou considered my servant Job, right? So you don't think the Most High, ain't nothing new going on. The same thing that happened back then is going on right now, right? Satan still report to the Most High every day, right? The Most High say, you know what? Have you considered my servants, right? Such and such, right? Well, what about him in this congregation? Well, what about him in this congregation, right? Yeah, this brother he a general in this congregation. What about him? I need you to go check him out, right? So the same thing is going on today in Israel. The Most High God sends Satan out to test brothers in all throughout Israel, right? To see if you really rooted in this truth, right? If you really built to endure, right? So let's read on.
Verse 9. Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, Doth Job fear God for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Verse 11. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
You see how Satan get down? He said, yeah, he upright and he righteous right now because he got all this good stuff, right? He living good. He got his kids. He got the cattle, right? It said that he was the greatest of all the men in the East. So Satan, like, man, the only reason why he doing this, right? The only reason why is because he got all this stuff. Satan said, man, you take all this away from him, he go curse you to his face, right? So that's how Satan get down. He testing everybody else the same way, right? You don't think Satan trying to test us, right? Trying to see what he could take away from us if we're still serve the Most High, right? So read down to verse 12, King.
Verse 12. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh.
So you see how the Lord get down? The Lord said, look, he said, everything that he got is in your power. He said, but just don't touch Job. Right? You don't think the Most High doing the same thing right now? You don't think the Most High tests every single last one of us like that? You don't think the Most High tells Satan, you know what? Hey, go take everything away from him and see if he still gonna serve me, right? So as a servants of the Lord, we have to be mentally prepared for these things, right? Hey, Satan might take away, he might take away your health, he might take away your job, right? He might take away family members, right? But at the end of the day, you still got to serve the Lord. You can't let nothing stop you from serving the Most High, right? Like I said, Satan to do anything, right? You might have your God forbid that happen to any brother, but hey, you might have a wife that your wife might catch cancer, right? Something might happen to one of your children, right? You might lose your job at work, right? Anything can happen. And the worst thing you gotta always think the worst thing that could possibly happen. You gotta think, if that happened to me, would I still serve the Most High? Because I seen it happen to brothers before, right? Something might be going on with a brother family member, right? Brother's kids might catch an illness or something. Children might have a disability, and hey, that's it. You know, they say, why are these bad things happening to me? You know what? God don't love me, right? If God loved me, he wouldn't have never let this happen to me. And now you out the truth. You can't think like that, right? You got to be prepared to have everything taken away from you. Because at the end of the day, even if everything is taken away from you, the only thing you always go have is the Most High. If you stay true and diligent to him, if you stay faithful. Everybody else in your life can leave you, but if you stay true to the Most High ain't never gonna leave you, right? Like that scripture, I believe it's in Sirach chapter 2, where the Lord said, have you ever seen a righteous forsaken? Right? If you continue to endure, the Most High ain't gonna forsake you. Right? Hey, and that's the type of things that I think about every day. Right? I don't know about, other brothers, but hey, my mom be thinking about all kind of stuff, man. I be thinking, like, damn, man, if the Most High took this away from me, would I still serve him? Damn, what if the Most High took that away from me? Would I still serve him? Right? I be thinking of the worst case scenarios, right? Damn, what if this happened to me? Would I still serve the Most High, or would I give up? Right? God forbid, but if I found out that I had cancer next week, and I found out I only got 6 months to live, would I still serve the Lord, or would I just give up? Right? These are the type of things that I think about. Right? These are the type of things that brothers got to think about. Right? What if something happened to my kids? What if something happened to my wife, or this or that? Would I still serve the Lord, or would I give up on the Lord? Would I curse the Lord and say, Lord, why you doing this to me? Right? These are things that we got to think about, because these are the things. This is the type of mindset you got to have, that if you want to endure in this truth, right? So let's all right, that was it on that. All right, King Shapar, can you read that in Job 1:13?
This is the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 13. And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the ox were plowing and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven and have burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Verse 17, while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So now what you see going on is like the Lord said, right? He gave Satan the green light to start taking all these things away from Job, right? So Satan was taking all these things away one by one, right? So let's read on.
Verse 18. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So not only did Satan take away all his cattle, but now he took away his children, right? So like I said, majority of us never have as much or have right now as much as Job had. And a lot of us will never have as much taken away from us as Job had. That's why this is one of my favorite accounts to read. And it's along with a lot of other brothers, Job is a real inspirational story for a lot of brothers in this truth, right? So read on, King. Read down to verse 22.
Verse 20. And then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped.
Hold on, wait. What happened after Job lost all the cattle?
It says he fell down upon the ground and worshipped.
Wait, what happened after he lost his children?
He fell down upon the ground and worshipped.
And that, I mean, when I read this over and over again, and it still blow my mind. It's like, wait, what? It said he fell down on the ground and worshiped, right? Imagine that. Imagine you just lost everything. You lost all your children, all your abundance, all your riches, everything that you had, everything that you work hard for. And in the snap of a finger, in a blink of an eye, everything is taken away from you. And the first thing that you do is get on your knees and worship and say Tawadi Yahweh. Which one of us would do that? Right? Which one of us will have everything taken away from you, your house, your children? And the first thing that you do is get on your knees and say Tawadi Yahweh, Tawadi Yahweh Shah. Right?
Hey,
Just think
Salakia.
about that.
Hey, Salakia, that's the faith and the actions right there. Because he had the faith in the Most High, and then he, with the actions, he got on his knees and started worshiping the Most High.
Right? You see that? But like I said, how many of us would do that? I mean, I would, like I said, sometimes I be like in a deep thought. Like we really gotta think and meditate on these things. We can't read this like this is a fairy tale book, or we sit in this school and we reading Dr. Seuss books. This is real life. We have to apply the things that's written in these scriptures and apply it to our life and say, wait, what if that happened to me? I mean, literally think about it. Imagine losing all your children, your wife, your family, everything that you work hard for. Imagine you woke up one day and all that was taken away from you. What would you do? Right? This is something that we got to think about. Because in these last days, it might happen to some of us on here. It might happen to a brother or sister that's watching this video. Right? So what you go do in that day? Are you gonna be like Job? Are you gonna get on your knees and worship? Right? After going through trials and tribulations, after having everything taken away from you, or are you gonna curse the Most High and say, "How could you do this to me?" Right? What you gonna do in that day? Right? So let's finish that off, King.
Come, verse 21. And said, naked came I out my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahweh gave, and Yahweh have taken away. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly.
Well, he did what?
Nor charged God foolishly.
He said, "In all this, Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly." Think about that. Like I said, hey, Job had a different spirit about him. Hey, I pray that the Most High, hey, when I read these accounts of our forefathers in these scriptures, I be like, damn, I pray that the Most High give me that spirit, man. I pray that the Most High give me the spirit of the three holy children. All right, give me the spirit of Job. Hey, these brothers had some mighty spirits. How many of us could have went through the same thing that Job went through and still got on our knees and worshiped the Most High and thanked the Most High? Right? He said, the Lord gave and the Lord have taken away. How many of us would have that same mind state? Right? Just because you in this truth, that don't mean that the Most High won't take away from you. Right? Just because you in this truth don't mean bad things can't happen to you. Right? We gotta wake up. Brothers think just because they in this truth, you know what? Oh, I'm good. You know, everything is nice and dandy now. You know, ain't nothing bad gonna happen to me. Well, brother, I don't know what the hell world you living in. Right? Ain't nothing sweet out here. If anything, your life is gonna get harder, right? That's why the Lord said, He said, I create. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. In Isaiah chapter 45, right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Right? So the Lord said He formed the light and the dark. He can make your life peaceful, and He can make your life evil. Right? He can have evil things happen to you. Right? Like we just read in the book of Job. It says, I, the Lord, do all these things. So, hey, the Lord is a just balance, right? You can't have good all the time, right? Everything can't be nice and sweet all the damn time, right? You can't always get your way all the time, right? That's not how life works. You go gain things in life, and you go have things taken away from you in life. That's how life works, right? But the thing is, are you gonna continue to endure? Even if things don't go your way, are you gonna keep enduring? Even if you get things taken away from you, are you gonna keep enduring? Right. So, hey King Shapar, can you give me the book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4? King Kazak, can you give me the book of Job chapter 2, and we're gonna start at verse 1 and we're gonna read down to 10. So let's get that in Job chapter 1.
You said Romans 15 and 4?
Yeah, hold that, and we go get this. Read this in Job first.
This is the book of Job, chapter 2, and verse 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of the Most High came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them to present himself before Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered Yahweh and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth the Most High, and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him to destroy him without cause.
Right, so you see that? Even though Job went through all that, had everything taken away from him, had his children taken away, right? The Lord said He still held His integrity. Are you still holding your integrity? Right? Or did you give up on the Most High? Did you forsake the Most High when you started to go through trials and tribulations? Right? A lot of brothers gave up on the Most High. Like I said, we seen these things with our own eyes. Right? Brothers going hard in this truth, right? You diligent 1 minute, right? You mighty 1 minute, and then the next minute, Satan then sifted you out. And now you just out on the street, just bugged out. Right? Don't know what's going on. You just all over the place. You're not doing no work. You're not putting in no works for the Most High. Right? Like I said, I seen it happen. Right? So let's read on, King.
Verse 4. And Satan answered Yahweh and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face.
Right, so now you seeing it's getting even deeper. So right, so the first step, the Most High allowed Satan to take everything that Job had. But remember, the Most High said, he said, I'll give you the power to take. Matter of fact, let's go back to that real quick. Let me read that real quick. Right. So this Job chapter 1, verse 11, it says, but put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thy hand. But now it's getting even deeper. Now Satan like, well, we took everything away from Job, right? But and he's still diligent, but now we got to take it to the next level, right? Now we gotta hurt Job himself, right? So let's see what's gonna happen after this.
Come, this is verse 6. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. Verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of Yahweh and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. Verse 8. And he took him a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die.
Right. So you see what Job's wife said after that? Like I said, that's why we read in Luke and Peter, right? It says Satan hath desired to have you, to sift you as wheat, right? That's why I said be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, right? He seeketh whom he may devour. And like I said, Satan, he can hop on anybody to try to get you out of this truth. In this case, he hopped on Job's wife to try to get him out, right? Look at that. Look what she said. It says, then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse God and die. That's what his wife said, right? Like I said, you got to put yourself in these situations. What if you had everything taken away from you, your children, everything, right? And then you broke out with a disease and your wife just look at you and say, you know what? Hey, you messed up. Why don't you just curse God and die? Right? What would you do in that situation? Would you say, you know what, baby, you right. You know, you right. I'm gonna just give up on the Most High. I'm gonna just forsake the Most High. Right? Let's see what Job did.
Verse 10. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh.
Wait, let's stop right there. He said, hey, Job, like I said, when I read the book of Job the first time, it was just crazy to me. And then you keep reading it over and over again. Job had a mighty spirit about him, right? Imagine losing all this in a short amount of time. How many of us would have given up? Like I said, it's a lot of brothers in this truth that ain't even lost half of what Job had, right? And they already crying and bickering, and you know what? I didn't know this truth was gonna be this hard, right? Let me go back to the Christian church, right? Let me go back in the world and just go and party and go clubbing, get high, right? Commit fornication and right? That's the easy way out. A lot of people not built for this, right? A lot of people go back into the world because they're not mentally and spiritually strong enough to endure, right? That's why you have to examine yourself. You gotta fast. You gotta pray. You gotta pray that the Most High don't sift you out, right? Pray that the Most High give you a diligent spirit, a humble spirit, right? Because Job, he could have folded. He could have said, you know what? You know what? You right. Now I done lost my kids. I done lost everything, man. The hell with this. But hey, he rebuked her. He rebuked that spirit of Satan that hopped on her. Right? He said, man, you talking like one of the foolish women talking. Right? Even though all the horrible things that just happened to him. Right? So let's finish that off, King.
Hey, Salakia, King. You mind if I throw a precept in here really quick?
No, go ahead, King.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. Verse 7. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Verse 8. But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Khan, you want to go into it, King?
Khan, it just kind of breaks down what it seems to be what the Most High's plan was to just prove and to give us something to look back on of what faith really looks like, and to understand what his love for us is. Basically, if you can withstand and endure to the end, you will be saved.
Khan. And that's a beautiful thing. Like I said, like the brother just brought out in Hebrews, hey, you should think something. If you're not going through trials and tribulations, that should be a red flag to you, right? A lot of people when they go through trials and tribulations and they go through hard times, they look at it as a bad thing. But if you in this truth and you not going through nothing, then you should look at that like something bad. Like, damn, man, I don't think the Most High even dealing with me. Right? Why is everything all nice and sweet in my life? Right? Hey, everything that you appreciate in life is the things that you go work hard for. A lot of people don't appreciate things that they didn't work hard for. Right? So in these
Salakia.
last days, in order to get the kingdom of heaven, you're gonna have to work hard for it. You're gonna have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations. Right? You can't inherit the kingdom if you're not ready to put in this work. Right? You had some, King Ron?
Con. Yeah. Nah, this is a beautiful lesson. So I'm gonna chime in when I can. But can somebody pull Deuteronomy 8 and 5, Baba Kashar? Con, going into this chastisement. You know, if we, and what the brother Corey brought out, or Kazakia brought out, and what Yashawan was bringing out just now is perfectly put, as a child of the Most High. Because when you really look at what the brother's bringing out, and hopefully everybody's taking notes at home and applying this to their life, because um, even getting chastised or being put through the fire, you know, a lot of our people look at it and we say, "Oh man, the Most High not dealing with me. I'm going through it. I gotta get better at something I may lack in this area in life." And you go through these things actually for the benefit of you as a son, right, of the Most High. You have to go through these things as a daughter of Zion. You got to go through the betterment process, right? So can somebody bring that
Con,
Deuteronomy 85?
this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 5. Thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chastiseth his son, so the Lord thy God chastises thee.
See that? So so ultimately, as a nation, right? As a nation of Israel, we go through you know, it's called the curses, but as a nation of people, and as an individual of, you know, the Most High, as a child, right? You're an Israelite. You're going to go through these things just like your father would give you a chastisement, whether it's verbally or he may take your money. You know, there's different types of levels of chastisement, right? And even us as a nation, we also exemplify that with our own people, right? It's called the judgments. So all these things are made to correct people, right? I have a son. I teach my son when he messes up, because he's going to mess up, just like as an Israelite, you're going to mess up. But if you're able and if you're fortunate enough to be in the camp and brothers can correct you and help course you in the right way, and they build you up, you going through chastisement. That's why the camp is beautiful. And Salakia if it's loud back here, but that's why it's beautiful to be in the camp and gathering ourselves together, because brothers can then correct each other. We can hold each other accountable, and you don't get that anywhere else. I'm gonna yield on that. But yeah, Yashua, you're doing a good job on the lesson. Let's keep it rolling.
Kind of all praise to the Most High, and that was a powerful point that the captain brought out, right? So, like I said, we can't if you're not going through trials and tribulations in this world, then you gotta think twice about your works, right? You should be glad to go through trials and tribulations for the Most High, right? Like I said, it's not gonna be a cakewalk to the kingdom. Remember, Yahushua said he came not to send peace on earth, but a sword, right? Right? He said a man's foes gonna be those of his own household, right? So you have to be prepared for stuff like that. You got to be prepared for your family to turn on you, your closest friends that you had in the world to turn on you, right? Hey King Kazak, did you finish verse 10 in Job chapter 2?
I can finish that up for you, King.
Come.
This is Job chapter 2 and 10. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High, and shall we not receive evil?
And that's that just balance that we brought out in Isaiah chapter 45, right? Where the Lord said, I create the light and the darkness, right? I make peace and create evil. So Job understood that. He said, look, how we go see? He said, what shall we receive good at the hand of God, and shall we not receive evil? He said that to her like she didn't, like, you don't know this, right? And as the servants of the Most High, we have to know this. We have to understand this. No, it's not gonna be good all the time. You're gonna have to go through hell to make it to the kingdom. You got to go through trials and tribulations to make it through the kingdom, right? You gonna go through depression. You gonna be stressed out. Brothers got infirmities and sicknesses that they got to deal with every day, right? But we got to keep enduring, because at the end of the day, the only one that's gonna heal us is the Most High. The only one that's gonna take away our pain is the Most High. Going back into the world and forsaking the Most High, that's not gonna get you nowhere, right? So anytime that you're going through something, you have to pray to the Most High, ask Him to give you strength, right? Ask your brothers and your elders for counsel, right? Ask brothers for help. Ask brothers to pray for you. Ask brothers to fast with you, right? That's why the Lord said, gather yourselves together. We have to be for each other in these last days. Because some of us, we can't go through these trials and tribulations alone, right? Hey, some of us blessed enough to have a brotherhood, right? Because you can't always go through things by yourself, right? So in these last days, we got to gather together and be there for each other, right? So yeah, finish that off for me, King, and then Shapar, we go get that in Romans.
Con. In all this, did not Job sin with his lips?
So that was it on that. All right. Yeah, let's get that in Romans 15:4 and Salah. King Amat, can you get Job 4 and start at verse 3 for me? Is Amat still on here?
Con.
Can you get Job 4 and 3 for me, King?
You need it now, or you gonna hold it?
Yeah, just hold that for me. And King Shapar, let's bring that out in Romans 15:4.
Con. This the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
Right, and that's beautiful, right? So the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning. So we supposed to learn from these situations, right? We supposed to learn from Job, learn from the three holy children, right? The brothers that you read about in Second Maccabees, the sixth or the seventh chapter, right? Read about the elder Eleazar in Second Maccabees, right? Where they put him to death for not eating the swine flesh. Right, we have to be strong for the Most High, just like our forefathers, right? Just like the Maccabees, just like Joshua, just like King David, right? Just like Job, just like the apostles, right? So it says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures, so we got to have patience, right? You know how many damn times I wake up like, damn, look, man, how many damn times do I got to go through this? Damn, another day of captivity, right? Right, but that's the flesh. You got to move in the spirit, right? You got to keep telling yourself like, look, I got to stay diligent. I haven't proven nothing yet, right? I got to keep enduring. Yeah, we want to get out of this captivity, of course. Yeah, we tired of being oppressed, but we have to keep enduring, right? Because if we don't keep enduring, we might not be worthy enough to be delivered.
Hey,
Like I
Salaki.
said, none of us we haven't accomplished nothing yet. We still got a lot of work to do. But what you had, King?
Oh, I was just gonna say, Salakia, I didn't mean to cut you off, King, but we got to keep that spirit that our forefather Joseph had. His brothers turning on him, being a slave for Egypt. Getting thrown in the hole. The brother, he stayed strong, man, even though he was going through a lot of oppression and a lot of he was down a lot of times, but the brother still stayed diligent and still kept faith in the Most High, our forefather Joseph.
Con. And that's powerful because you got so many different accounts, right? So many different brothers and sisters as well that you could look up to when you read these scriptures to learn from their situations, right? To learn from these different accounts, right? So it says that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Right. So this the only thing that give us hope. Right. Ain't nothing else gonna give us hope. Right. I don't get hope from nothing out there in the world. Right. Ain't nothing out here in this world but death and destruction. Right. Going back into the world is not gonna help you enduring this truth. Right. It ain't nothing out here for us. Right. So like I said, we have to learn from these accounts so it can give us the spirit of comfort. So we can have faith and continue to endure. Right. If our forefathers did it, why can't we do it? Don't we descend from Job? Don't we descend from Moses? Aren't those our forefathers? Right? Don't we descend from Joseph, like the brother said, the mighty brother Joseph? right? The Maccabees, right? Joshua, Caleb, those are our forefathers, right? If they did it, why can't we do it, right? So in these last days, we're going to have the same spirit, right? We have to be as diligent as our forefathers was if we want to even have a chance to inherit the kingdom, right? So let's get that in Job chapter 4 and verse 3. King Amak and King Kazak, can you give me Job chapter 5 and verse 17?
Con, this is the book of Job, chapter 4, verse 3. Behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. Verse 4. Thy words have upholden him that was fallen, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. Verse 5. But now it is come upon thee, and thou faintness, it touched thee, and thou art troubled.
Right? So like I said, it's a lot of brothers in this truth that going through that, right? It says thou has instructed many, right? Talking about Job. A lot of brothers that's in this truth, they used to be on the streets instructing many, right? Trying to wake up the lost sheep, showing them how to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. And then they went through trials and tribulations, and
Can anybody hear me?
Khan, yeah, we can hear you.
Oh man, Salaki, my bad.
No, you good. But like I said, a lot of brothers went through trials and tribulations, and they fell off, right? And now they just as bad as the people that's in the world that they was teaching. You see that? You see how the Most High can reverse the roles on you? You out there on the streets telling brothers, yeah, brother, repent, brother. Right? You got to man up, brother. You got to keep the high holy days, brother. Right? You got to stand strong for the Lord, brother. And now the Lord then put you through the fire, and you done went through some trials and tribulations, and now you sitting on the couch like, man, why did the Lord do this to me, man? And you didn't forsake the Most High instead of continuing to go out there on the streets and doing the work of the Most High and gathering with your brothers. Now you sitting on the couch with the sad face, with your head down, talking about, man, I'm going through all this stuff, man. Why this happening to me, man? What you mean why this happening to you? If you gotta ask that question, then you really don't read these scriptures, right? Why is God doing this to me? Because he did the same thing to our forefathers, right? He did the same. He put Job through trials and tribulations, right? He put all our forefathers through trials and tribulations, right? He put our forefathers in certain situations to see if they was go continue to endure, right? If they was go keep their word, right? Shoot, Abraham, Abraham was finna sacrifice his own son, right? And Ephraim was bringing that out. What was that last weekend, right? But the thing is, we have to stay obedient. That's the thing. It don't matter what you're going through. You can't turn your back on the Most High because the Most High putting you through certain situations, right? Hey, Abraham didn't turn his back on the Most High. He was going to sacrifice his own son for the Most High, right? What are you sacrificing for the Most High? Right? Abraham was going to sacrifice his own son. What sacrifices have you made? Right? In order to be a true servant of the Most High God, you got to give things, you got to give some things up. You got to sacrifice. Right? So let's finish that off, King. Amak.
Con, verse 6.
Oh, no, you read verse 5 already?
Con.
All right, so that's it on that. So let me get Kazak, you had Job 5:17.
Con.
All right, Shapar, can you give me 2nd Esdras 7:57?
Con.
All right, so let's bring that out, King Kazak.
It's the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 17. Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth. Therefore, despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty.
And that go along with that scripture you brought out in Hebrews, right? It says, behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. So we have to be happy that the Most High correcting us, right? Because what do we look like without the Most High correction, right? What do we look like without the correction of the Most High? We look like the same man that we used to be back in the world.
Fighting on the
Right.
street corners.
Right, fighting on the street corners, right? Calling the police on your own brother, right? Madness, man. All type of madness going on out here. So that's why the Lord said, happy is the man whom God corrective. Are you happy that the Most High is correcting you? Or do you get mad and get angry and get in your feelings and say, God, why are you doing this to me? Right? What have I done wrong? Right? If that's the type of spirit that you got, then you got to humble down. Right? The first thing that should come to mind when you're going through trials and tribulations is, damn, what did I do wrong? Right? It's something that I'm not doing that I need to be doing. Right? It's something that I need to be doing better. Right? Maybe I need to examine myself. Right? But a lot of people don't think like that. Like I said, a lot of people think that they saved already. A lot of people think they doing something when you really ain't doing nothing. Right? Like I said, the Most High don't need none of us. Right? So if you're going through trials and tribulations, you need to be blessed that the Most High is even dealing with you. Right? Can you read down to verse 19 for me, King Kazak?
Con. Verse 18. For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He woundeth, and his hands make whole. Verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
Right, so the Lord said he gonna deliver you in 6 troubles. So everything that you're going through ain't nothing for the Most High. Right? You don't think the Most High can deliver you from your troubles if you stay diligent and faithful? Right? So that's why we can't fold in these last days. Yeah, times go get hard. Right? Yeah, times go get tough. But we gotta continue to endure. Right? We got to continue to ask the Lord for help. Because if we don't and we forsake him, then who else gonna be on our side? If you don't got the Lord on your side, who else you gonna have on your side? Right? If you don't have faith that the Lord go deliver you from your troubles, then who else gonna deliver you? Right? So let me get that real quick. In 2nd Esdras 7. 57. All right. And King of Mott, can you give me Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9? All right. And King Shapar, you could bring that out in 2nd Esdras chapter 7.
Con, it's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 57. And it reads, Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle.
Wait, hold on. This is the what?
This is the condition of the battle.
So this is the condition of the battle. So I hate to break the news to you, but we have to battle. This is a fight. Every single day is a fight. right? Every single day is a battle, a spiritual battle, right? Satan is trying to tempt you. Like I said, Satan know your weaknesses. He know your strengths, right? Whatever that you was dealing with back in the world, Satan is gonna use that to try to sift you out, right? If you was dealing with lust, being a drunkard, right? Right, taking drugs and smoking weed, hey, Satan is gonna use that to tempt you in these last days, right? That's why Paul said, he said the flesh warreth against the spirit, and they are contrary one to the other, right? So every single day is a battle. So read on, King.
Con, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight.
Right. So we gotta fight this battle, right? We claim that we warriors, right? Right. We claim that we officers, we captains, right? Well, we gonna have to prove that, right? A lot of brothers got all these different titles, right? So the Most High go hold you to that. Or you a captain? Well, we gonna see if you a captain or not. Or you call yourself an officer, a general, right? Or you a bishop, right? And the Most High go hold you to that. He go put you through certain situations, right? He want to see if you go forward or not, right? So every single day is a battle. Every single day is a fight, right? This walk is not easy, right? So let me get Mark, you got that Ecclesiastes chapter 4.
Con.
All right, so King Kazak, can you give me the book of Acts chapter 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 1, right? And I might have to cut a few of these kind of short depending on the time, but we gonna try to run through these. All right, so let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and
Verse 9.
yeah, let me get there real quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9.
Yep.
2 are better than 1.
Wait, hold on, read that again, King.
2 are better than 1.
So the Lord said 2 are better than 1, right? So like I said, if you're going through trials and tribulations, the best thing to have is a brotherhood, fellowship, right? Elders, right? Because we can't go through these things alone. Some brothers might not be strong enough to go through these things alone. That's why we have to be there for each other. Like I said, like we read in Luke chapter 22. What did Yahushua tell Peter? He said, Satan hath desired to sift you out. He said, when you are converted, strengthen thy brethren. So we have to strengthen our brethren. Right? The Lord told Peter, he said, I have prayed for thee. Right? So we have to pray for each other. We have to be there for each other. Right? Because ain't nobody else gonna be there for us. Right? We got people in our own family that's not gonna be there for us. Right? So we have to be each other's family, and we gotta be there for brothers in these last days. Remember, the Lord said, who is my brother and who is my mother? Right? He said, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and my mother. Right? So let's read on.
Because they have a good reward for their labor. Verse 10. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
Right? So that's what a brother is there for. If you fall, the other is there to lift up his fellow. So we got to be there to lift each other up. Right? You know, I don't know how, I can't speak for brothers in other camps, but I'm pretty sure in other camps, you know, that's what brothers do. Right? That's how we do in Yahweh's camp, right? A brother might be going through something. Hey, the Lord said, confess your faults one to another. If a brother going through something, hey, we pray for that brother, right? We might fast for that brother, right? We might give that brother some scriptures, give him some words of encouragement, right? We got to lift each other up in these last days, right? Because like I said, the brothers around you is the ones that's going to strengthen you. And I get strength from every one of these brothers that's on this stream yard, right? And brothers that's not on here, right? Like I said, you don't know who watching, right? You don't know who looking up to you. That's why you got to continue to endure and stay strong in this truth, right? And when I see my brothers out there on the streets bringing it out mighty, right? Brothers putting in the work of the Lord, brothers diligent. They show up week in and week out, right? Brothers increasing in this truth and getting stronger and stronger, and that lift my spirits up, right? I'm like, dang, man, the elder been in this truth for 35 years. Dang, he's still going hard. He's still enduring, and that give me strength. Dang, the elder priest been in this truth for almost 20 years. He's still going hard, and that give me strength. Right? I see the mighty captains, the brother Ram and Yashuv, right, being diligent, putting in that work week in and week out. Right, the mighty officers, the mighty soldiers, right, brothers be diligent. Hey, that lift my spirits up, and that make me want to go hard. Cause if my brother's going hard and they diligent and they put in the work, hey, that spirit is contagious. That spirit hop on me, right? So in these last days, we got to be there for each other, and we got to continue to build each other up, right? Did you finish verse 10, King? All right, kind of finish verse 10 for me.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up.
Right. So you don't want to be alone these last days, right? Right. A lot of brothers got that, well, I could do it all by myself spirit. And every brother can't do it by himself. Right? Like I said, that's why we got to come together. Right? Even if we all ain't going to be like one camp. I ain't saying come together like that. But at the end of the day, you should be peaceable with everybody. Especially if they're your brother. I don't give a damn what camp you in. Right? If you a blood descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you strive to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments, and you my brother, I don't give a damn what camp or congregation you with. I don't give a damn what t-shirt you got on. Right? Right? So we gotta stop the division among Israel, right? That's not gonna help us endure in this truth. That give us a bad look. That scares sheep away from coming into the truth, right? Like I said, if we go have all this division, you might as well stay in the world. Hey, the Bloods and the Crips and the GDs and the Vice Lords, they divided, right? If you go be divided, you might as well be like one of them, right? So when we come in this truth, we have to come together as a nation, right? You should be able to be peaceable with any brother in any camp, right? Because at the end of the day, we come from the same nation, the same bloodline, the same family, right? So, King Kazak, you got that Acts chapter 4 and verse 1.
Khan.
And Shapar, can you give me Acts chapter 5 and verse 12?
It's the book of Acts.
Let me get the real quick.
Hey man, I need some precepts too. Now that I got a microphone.
Oh yeah, man, you was out for so damn long. I forgot you was on here. But oh, don't worry. I'm gonna get you some scriptures, man. Don't worry about it. All right. So Acts chapter 4 verse 1. All right.
Khan. It's the book of Acts chapter 4 from the top. And as they spake unto the people, the priests and the captain of the temple and the Sadducees came upon them, being grieved that they taught the people and preached through Yahushua the resurrection from the dead.
Right. So this is talking about the apostles, right? This was after the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahweh Shah, right? And then the Lord gave the power to the disciples to go and do the same miracles that he did, right? To go out there and teach the people and heal the people, right? We don't king.
Con, verse 3. And they laid hands on them and put them in hold until the next day, for it was now eventide.
Right. So we going through all these different accounts throughout the scriptures, right? So we read the book of Job. We went through some of the things that Job had to go through, and now we going to the apostles. Right? Our forefathers had to go through a lot, right? When you come to serve the Most High, you gonna have to go through a lot of stuff, right? You gonna have to go through a lot of hard times, a lot of trials and tribulations, right? So it says that they laid hands on them, right? Which one of y'all ready for that? If you can't endure the little things that we going through now, who go endure through these things? The same things that happened back then is gonna happen in these last days, right? So let's can you jump down to verse 10 for me, King?
Con, the book of Acts chapter 4, verse 10. Be it known unto you all and to all the people of Israel that by the name of Yahushua HaMashiach of Nazareth, whom ye crucified, whom the Most High raised from the dead, even by him doth this man stand here before you whole. Verse 11. This is the stone which was set at naught of you builders, which is become the head of the corner. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Verse 13. Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua. And beholding the man which was healed standing with them, they could say nothing against it. Verse 15. But when they had commanded them to go aside out of the council, they conferred among themselves, saying, what shall we do to these men? For that indeed a notable miracle hath been done by them is manifest to all them that dwell in Jerusalem, and we cannot deny it.
Right?
Verse
And
7.
in these last days, we doing the same thing, right? We out here trying to replicate the same acts as our forefathers. Now we don't have the same type of power that they had right now, but and we do miracles every day, right? How many times have you seen brothers turn a homosexual into a righteous brother, right? That's a miracle, right? We go out there and perform miracles on these streets every day, bringing people into the truth, right? We got brothers and sisters that stop smoking cigarettes, stop the smoking weed, right? Stop fornicating, stop committing adultery. That came into this truth, right? So we doing the same thing as our forefathers, right?
Precept.
Read on, King.
Con, verse 17. But that it spread no further among the people, let us straitly threaten them that they speak henceforth to no man in this name. And they called them and commanded them not to speak at all, nor teach in the name of Yahushua. But Peter and
And
John
Salaki,
answered.
and that's the spirit of Satan that we read about in the book of Luke chapter 22 and then in First Peter, right? It said that, and they called them and commanded them not to speak at all nor teach in the name of Yahushua. Satan don't want us to teach that name. So he gonna do everything in his power to stop you from doing that. Like I said, the spirit of Satan, he go hop on your wife, he go hop on your family, on your children, right? On your boss at work, right? Any way that he could come at you, he go come at you to stop you from serving the Most High and from doing the work, right? So let's read on, King.
Verse 19. But Peter and John answered and said unto them, whether it be right in the sight of the Most High to hearken unto you more than unto the Most High, judge ye. For we cannot but speak the things which we have seen and heard.
Right, and can you jump down to verse 31 for me, King?
Verse 31. When they had prayed, the place was shaken where they were assembled together, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and they spake the word of the Most High with boldness.
Hold on, they did what?
And they spake the word of the Most High with boldness.
Right, so that's what we got to do no matter what we going through, right? Like I said, the Lord don't care what you going through. At the end of the day, this what we got to stand for. No matter what we going through, we got to continue to speak the name of the Lord in boldness, right? It don't matter what the Lord take away from us. It don't matter if we got to put our lives on the line, right? We got to continue to endure and speak the name of the Lord with boldness, just like our forefathers, right? The apostles, they didn't have nothing to lose. They said, man, hey, the hell with it. Even if I got to lose my life, hey, that's what's going to happen. That's how much they love the Most High God. That's how much they love Yahweh Shah, our Lord and Savior. Right? How much do you love the Lord? Right? You go through a little trials and tribulations, and you forsook the Lord, and now you ain't even in the truth no more. That goes to show you how much you truly love the Lord. Right? So let's who had that Acts chapter 5 and verse 12?
Can I grab this precept real quick?
Yeah, go ahead real quick.
All right. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha. Chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know what I'm saying? And just like Officer Yashwan was going into, when you come in, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be tempted in a lot of things where there is good, evil. You know what I'm saying? You got to prepare yourself for all factors. Everything's not going to go right. Be prepared for sometimes your world to come crashing down around you. That's all I got. Right here.
All praises, right? So who had Acts 5 and 12?
I can read it out.
And Ephraim, can you give me Psalm 34 and 7? You still there, Ephraim?
Hell yeah.
I was just making sure, man.
Hey, I got you, King.
All right, so let's get that Acts 5 and 12.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 12. And by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch.
Right, so let's jump down to verse 15.
Verse 15. Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at the least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folk and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed, every one. Then the high priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, were filled with indignation, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison.
Right, so wait, they did what?
Put them Salakia, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in the common prison.
Right. So like I said, that's the spirit of Satan, right? Satan don't like when you stand boldly for the Most High. You know what Satan like? Satan like when you give up and forsake the Most High and lead His truth, and when you're not diligent, right? When you're not rooted in His truth, because you an easy target. Like I said, when we read in First Peter, your adversary, the devil, is like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour, right? So we haven't went through nothing yet. We still got a lot more work to do. We still got a lot more trials and tribulations to go through. But the thing is, we have to come together as a brotherhood, right? So that'll make us stronger as a whole, right? We don't have to go through these things alone. That's why the Most High God put brothers around you that'll help you grow in this truth, that'll help you make it through these trials and tribulations, right? So let's read down to verse 19, King.
Verse 19. But the angels of Yahweh by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said,
Kind of what yeah, that's it on that. So it says, but the angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors, right? So what you seeing in that situation, what happened when they stood bold for the Most High? The Most High sent help. The Most High sent the angel down there to help them out in that situation. The same way the Most High sent the angel to protect the three holy children when they was in the midst of the burning fiery furnace, right? And that's what the Most High gonna do for us when we continue to stay diligent, right? So Ephraim, bring that out, Baba Kashah in Psalm 34:7.
Con. The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 7. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and
That do wait, that do what?
that fear him and
That
delivereth them.
right. So that fear him and he delivered them. That's what the Most High did for the apostles, right? That's what the Most High did for the three holy children, right? So the angels gonna be around about those that fear him, right? And if you forsake the Most High, then you truly don't fear him. If you're not ready to endure any and everything for the Most High, then you truly don't fear him, right? All right, so let's finish that in Acts chapter 5 and verse 20.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 20. Go stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And when they heard that,
So like that's it on. Can you jump the verse? Cause I'm gonna try to. I know we pushing kind of close. Can you jump to verse 24 and read down to 33, Baba Kashah? And King Kazak, can you give me Acts 5 and 38?
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse, you said 23, Yak?
24.
Salakia. This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 24. Now, when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priests heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. Then came one and told them, saying, Behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. Then went the captain with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. And when they had brought them, they set them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did not we straitly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey God rather than men. The God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him have God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins.
Right? And that's the end game right there, right? We want the Most High to give us forgiveness of sins, right? But how does the Lord go forgive you of your sins when you forsake him and go back into the world, right? When you're not diligent in this truth. Like I said, ain't none of us special, right? We don't deserve nothing, right? That itself should make you want to go harder in this truth, right? And be diligent in this truth, right? And keep enduring in this truth. Because like I said, it ain't nothing out there in the world, right? You might leave this truth and go out there in the world for one day, and the Most High might put you to death, right? But we want the Most High to have mercy on us in these last days, right? So let's read on, King.
Verse 32. And we are his witnesses of these things, and so is also the Holy Ghost, whom God hath given to them that obey him. When they heard that, they were cut to the heart and took counsel to slay them.
Right, and they took counsel to slay them, right? So let's jump down to King Kazak, you got verse 38. And can you read down to 42?
Khan, Book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against the Most High. Verse 40. And to him they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them,
Wait, hold on. What did they do to the apostles?
they had called the apostles and beaten them.
They had beaten them, right? So our forefathers went through a lot of trials and tribulations in this truth, right? Even Jeremiah was beat up, thrown in prison, right? The Maccabees, they had to go, they was getting killed for not eating damn pork, right? But people was getting killed if they was found with the law in they the law in their hand, right? Right. So these are the things that the servants of the Lord got to go through, right? So we have to be prepared for these things, because whatever happened to them, that's gonna happen to us in these last days, right? So we gonna have to get ready for it. They gonna be. You don't think Esau go try to kill us for preaching the words of the Lord, right? You don't think Esau gonna be trying to beat us, right? So whatever, like I said, whatever situation that you're going through right now, it ain't nothing compared to what we gonna go through in these last days. It's more evil days that's gonna come upon us, right? It's gonna get even worse and worse, right? So finish that off, King.
Come. Verse 40. And to him they agreed. And when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua, and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. Verse 42. And daily in the temple and in every house they ceased not to teach and preach Yahushua HaMashiach.
And that's beautiful. It says they seized not, after all the things they went through, getting beat, getting thrown in prison. It said they seized not to preach the name of the Lord, right?
Hey,
And that's a beautiful thing, right? So let me go back to verse 41. It says, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. And they was rejoicing. How many of us rejoice when we go through trials and tribulations? Right? How many of us get on our knees and worship like Job when we go through trials and tribulations? See, that's the spirit of endurance. When you go through certain things and you still have the will to get on your knees and worship the Most High. You still had the will to rejoice and praise the Most High, even when things going wrong, even when things not going your way, right? And that's the type of spirit that we have to have if you want to continue to endure. But what you had, King?
I had a precept right quick.
Khan.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revive you and persecute you, and shall say all manners of evil against you falsely for my sake. And I feel like that precepts up with what we just read in Acts 40. Acts 40, I believe.
Khan. Yeah, that's a mighty precept. So like I said, we're gonna have to go through these things in these last days, right? Ain't none of us special. Right? If the apostles went through that, what you think we gotta go through? Right? So hey Ephraim, can you give me Acts 21 and 13? I got a couple more and I'm gonna try to cut this kind of short. King Shapar, can you give me Revelation chapter 13, verse 15? And Brother Kazak, can you give me Mark chapter 4 and verse 3? All right, Ephraim, let me know when you got that Acts 21:13.
Hey, I got it. Do you have it?
Khan.
The book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 13. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of Yahweh Shai.
Right, so you see the powerful spirit that our forefathers had. He said, not only am I ready to be bound, to be thrown in prison, but I'm ready to die for the name of the Lord. Hey, the apostles, they was raising hell. When you read the book of Acts, hey, they was raising hell from city to city, right?
Are you ready to die for this, Mr. Israelite man?
Right. Just like the brother said, he said, I'm ready to die for this, right? Yeah, but hey, that's the spirit our forefathers had, though. That's a beautiful spirit to have, right? Hey, they didn't give a damn about nothing. All they cared about was doing the work of the Most High, right? So we have to have that same mind state, right? So let's run through this real quick. Who got that Revelation 3 and 15?
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 3, verse 15. And it reads, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou work cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Right, and that's your worst nightmare if you in this truth, right? Right? Because a lot of brothers, like I said, a lot of brothers lukewarm, right? A lot of brothers not diligent. A lot of brothers don't have the spirit of endurance. A lot of brothers not rooted. A lot of brothers, like Yahshua brought out, they only in this truth for vainglory, right? They think this is a show. They think this is a game, right? But our forefathers, some of them had to lose their lives for this truth, right? Are you ready to lose your life? Are you ready to have things taken away from you? Right? These are the things that we have to endure, right? All right, so that was it on that. Ephraim, can you give me 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 10? And let me see real quick. I'm trying to run through this real quick.
You ready?
Come.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 10. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions.
Hold on, in what?
In persecutions.
And persecutions. That's what the apostles went through. They went through persecutions, right? Getting beat up, right? Getting thrown in prison, right? People threatening to take their lives away from them, right? What are you going through? Have you been beaten up for the name of the Lord? Did somebody throw you in prison? Did somebody threaten to kill you? Right? Like I said, brothers think they going through, oh man, I gotta go through this, man. I gotta go through that, man. I got this and that. Okay, that's fine. We understand that the things that we go through is hard. We go through hard times, but and I hate to break the news to you, but it's finna get a lot worse. It's finna get even harder, right? So we gotta stick together. We gotta come together and help each other out through these hard times, right? So let's finish that off.
None. In persecutions, in distresses for Yahweh's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong.
Right? So when I am weak, then am I strong, right? That's why in Philippians, like we say, we could do all things through Christ, right? Yeah, you might be weak at one point, but that's why you got your brothers to help you up, right? So that was it on that. I'm gonna try to knock this out real quick in Mark chapter 4 and verse 3, and I'm gonna get one more, and that's gonna be it. So who had that Mark chapter 4 and verse 3?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, Con.
The book of Mark, chapter 4 and verse 3. This is these are red letters. Hearken, behold, there went out a sower to sow.
Right, Salaki. So this is the parable about the sower, right? And what you go see is this fit a lot of the characteristics that happen to brothers that's in this truth, right? That fall out of this truth. All right. So let's read on, King.
Verse 4. And it came to pass, as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and the fowls of the air came and devoured it up. And some fell on stony ground, where it had not much earth, and immediately it sprang up, because it had no depth of earth. But when the sun was up, it was scorched, and because it had no root, it withered away. Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it, and it yielded no fruit. And other fell on good ground, and did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and brought forth some 30, and some 60, and some 100. And he said unto them, He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when he was alone, they that were about him with the 12 asked of him the parable. Verse 11. And he said unto them, Unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of the Most High, but unto them that are without, all these things are done in parables.
Right. So we go get into this parable, right? Let's read on, and then I'll take well, matter of fact, I'll read the rest, King.
Come.
Verse 12, it says that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted, and their sins should be forgiven them. And he said unto them, Know ye not this parable? And how then will ye know all parables? Right, so we finna get into the parable, right? It says, The sower soweth the word, and these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately. Right? So remember what we read about Satan earlier in Luke chapter 22. He have desired to have you, to sift you out of this truth. Right? It says Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. Right? So that happened to a lot of new brothers that come in this truth, right? So if you a new brother or a new sister that's just coming into the truth, right, should be words of encouragement for you to stay diligent, right? Because when you first come in this truth, you go have a lot of people in your ear, right? Are you with them Hebrew Israelite niggas that be on the streets and yelling at the white man, right? Or that's what you doing now, right? And a lot of people get discouraged, right? They say, you know what, you right? This ain't for me. What was I thinking, right? And so, Satan cometh immediately and take away that word. And that happened to a lot of times when we be out there on the streets teaching, right? We bring out this scripture all the time. We might be teaching, somebody might come up, right? And we might be teaching to Jake, and his homeboys might, hey man, we gotta go, man. Hey, we got somewhere to be, man. Hey man, leave them niggas alone, man. Right? We might be teaching the sister, she might be hearkening, and her homegirls might come up. Girl, we gotta get to the club and do this and you know twerk and do all that. Hey man, leave them niggas alone, right? We came out here to get effed up tonight. Leave them niggas alone, right? Oh, they got hatred in their heart. They got hatred in their heart. They preaching about race and color, right? God is all love, but they said that God hate, right? So that's Satan taking away the word, right? Verse 15, and these are they by the wayside where the word is sown. But when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. And these are they likewise which are sown on stony grounds, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. So that's what happened when you're not rooted in this truth. A lot of brothers only endure for a certain period of time, right? Brothers been in this truth for 2 years and they didn't fill out because they wasn't rooted. They came in the truth and they was too focused on worshiping the man and worshiping the Most High. Right? They might have came in this truth, from a certain congregation. They might have liked how a certain brother was teaching. Oh, I wanna be like him. I want to be a part of their camp, right? But brother, you got to do this work for the Most High. You got to be sincere in this truth, right? Like I said, this is not for everybody. Everybody not built to endure forever, right? Right. So verse 17, and have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So a lot of brothers get offended. They come in this truth, they zealous. Yeah, I'm an Israelite. I gotta give me some fringes. And next thing you know, they come out the camp. And the first day they might be at camp, hey, we might get into a little altercation, a little scuffle. Right? We might be teaching. Hey, Esau might run up and he might throw some at us. F you guys, right? Hey, the brother might be like, you know what? I didn't sign up for this, right? This is a little bit too much than what I anticipated. Maybe this ain't for me, right? So everybody not built for this, right? Verse 18. And these are they which are sown among thorns, such as hear the word, and the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful. Right? So, brothers might come in this truth. They might have a little zeal, but it might be too many things in the world that might be holding them back. Right? You might have been messing with a chick in the world. Are you with them Israelites? Oh, I heard they could have multiple wives, right? Oh, you don't need to be involved in that. Oh, they said you can't. They said you can't commit fornication. Why don't you come over here and hang with me? I got something for you, right? And the brother might not last too long. He might, you know what, man, the hell with this, man. And I'm gonna continue to commit fornication, right? Them niggas said I can't smoke weed. I'm gonna continue to hit the blunt, right? Them niggas said I can't break the Sabbath day, but I'm gonna continue to go out there and party, go to the clubs, right? Hey, brothers got too much going on in this world, right? Right? Verse 19, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in, choke the word and it becometh unfruitful. And these are they which are sown on good ground, such as hear the word and receive it and bring forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60, and some 100. So, like we just read, that's not for everybody, right? Everybody not built to endure, right? So, Ephraim, let me get second Nedges 2 and 42, and that's gonna be it for me. And read down to verse 47 for me, and that's gonna be it.
The book of Second Esdras, chapter 2 and verse 42. I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs.
Right, and it's one of my favorite scriptures, right? Because it's finna get real deep. Because this is what we all do this for. You got to understand, it's a reward at the end of this. We're not doing this in vain, right? We have to endure and go through these trials and tribulations because the Lord has a reward in store for us, right? So let's read on.
And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal.
Right, so we have to put, in these last days, we got to put off that mortal clothing, right? All that fighting against for street corners and hating your own brother, worry about the cares of this world, we got to put that off. That's not gonna get you nowhere, but that's gonna get you on the Most High's bad side, right? Hating your own brother, right? Fighting against your own brother, right? Calling the police on your own brother, not being diligent in his truth, right? So let's read on.
And have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
And that's what we want to. Hey, we want the Lord to set a crown on our head. That's why the Lord, Yahweh Shah, said in Revelation 2 and 10, he said, keep my works unto the end, and I will, even unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. If you want to receive that crown of life, right? Why the hell would you want to, you go put in all this work, and then you go let your hand off the plow and give up on the Most High? What was the point? Right? So let's read on.
Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God.
Right, so we all know that's talking about Yahweh Shah. Like I said, this link up with Revelation 2 and 10, right? So let's read on.
Whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
No, wait, no, they wavered.
They stood stiffly for the name of the Lord.
No, they was lukewarm.
Stiffly.
No, they couldn't endure.
They were like a rock.
Right, so it said that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. So in these last days, we had to stand stiff for the name of the Lord. Just like Job, just like the apostles, right? Just like Joshua, just like the Maccabees, just like all our forefathers, right? Right? Because like I said, at the end of the day, we have a reward waiting for us. And remember, the Lord said the kingdom of heaven is within you, right? Are you going to rise up to the challenge and take what the Lord got for you? or are you gonna fold up and give up on the Lord in these last days? Hey, that's your decision, right? Right. But hey, Lord willing, man, this lesson was edifying for the brothers and sisters that was tuning in. Right, we go close it out, man. Hey, again, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Hey, shalom to all the brothers and sisters for that was tuning in to Yahweh's Camp Wars on Wednesdays. And we go close it out. So again, I'm Brother Yashawan Ban Yahweh.
I'm Brother Imok.
Hey, Brother Ephraim.
Hey, this is Shapar the Gadite.
He got the coolest name.
Khan, this is Brother Kanak.
And I believe we got Brother
Khan, it's your brother Yashu signing out. Great lesson for the peace, for the people in the last days, man. Beautiful edification. And hopefully everyone takes heed to the knowledge and the wisdom coming out, man. You know, that's a mighty, mighty young warrior in the spirit in the last days, making great examples for the kingdom, man. So please listen and stay informed, man, from the great work that's going out through the camp in the last days, man. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Shah. Beautiful work.
All praise to the Most High. Is Rom still in here? Yeah, he might be tied up. But we also got the mighty Captain Rom. But with that, man, we gonna say shalom. Again, all praises to Yahweh Shah. Hey, shalom.
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 Shalom.